Hey guys, TDNJ27 here, and today I'm going to show you what's in my dock. First up, I have Finder, which is a file manager for the Mac pre-installed software. Next up is Alfred, and Alfred is like a Finder where you can search for your files on a Mac. So let me quickly open the next app. So App Store, it's very fast. Just press return and open the next app. So our next app is the Mac App Store, which is pre-installed on the Mac, and it is the App Store for your Mac. Next up is the Launchpad, which shows all your apps on the Mac. Next up is Mission Control, which shows all your open applications. Next up is Safari, and is a pre-installed application along with Launchpad and Mission Control. It is a pre-installed web browser. It is my primary web browser and the web browser I use the most. Next up is Mail, a pre-installed Apple Mail client, which is my primary mail client. And next up, again, pre-installed Mac app Calendar, my primary calendar. Then there's Contacts, pre-installed Mac app. Reminders, pre-installed Mac app, which gives me the to-do lists. It's very helpful. Next up is Notes, another pre-installed Mac app. P.S. I'm doing all the pre-installed Mac apps first, or pretty much all the pre-installed Mac apps first. Next up is System Preferences, which is the settings for your Mac pre-installed. Next up is Messages, where you can message people. I did not mean to do that. Where you can message people on iOS and people that have a Mac. Next up is FaceTime, and that is Apple's video calling. So now we are going into the categories. FaceTime actually started a category. So first up is instant messaging. Actually, Messages did. So Messages, first app, instant messaging, FaceTime, and then Uvu is, I use a lot to communicate with my friends, and it's a great instant messaging and video calling app. Next up, we are going to go into the photography section. First up with Instadesk, which is the best Mac Instagram viewer. Then there's iPhoto, pre-installed Mac software where you can import all your photos and even do very minor editing. Then there's Photo Booth, a pre-installed Mac app where you can take pictures of yourself and add really cool effects. Next up is Pixelmator, which is the best photo editing software on the market, hands down. Then is going into the movie or video category is iMovie, a great video editor from Apple, pre-installed. Next up is QuickTime Player, which is going into the media players. And this is a great media player, and you can also do screen recordings, which I'm doing right now. Next up is VLC, which is my favorite media player. You can do any type of media. It produces it very loud. You can adjust the bass and the treble, and it does not blow out your speakers, although if you turn it up too loud, obviously it will do that. But VLC is great. Next up is iTunes, which is a pre-installed Mac app where you can buy and play music. Next up is GarageBand, which is a pre-installed Mac app where you can edit music, and this is what I primarily use for my music editing. Next up is Audacity, which is a music editor, but I use it a lot for audio recordings for my YouTube videos and private videos. I actually find it with a lot more sound quality, and it's very good. It's a free app, which is always a bonus, and I actually use this in a majority of my videos, but not this one, obviously. Next up is Mix, which is another one of my favorite media players, which really is like a DJing software, so it's the best. Next up is Finale Notepad, which helps me compose my music and write it in real sheet music. Next up is the word processing, which processing sort of with Finale Notepad and Pages, and then also this is like a music category altogether / media players. So next up is Pages, which is a Mac app where it's like Mac's version of Word, and I think it is much better, more user-friendly, and a lot easier to use. Next up is my web design applications. My primary web design application is Sandbox, and my secondary is Rapid Weaver. And next up we have our app developments. First up is Game Salad, which is a no-coding application, which is my primary. And then my secondary is Xcode, an Apple app, and that does have coding in it. And I only use that to view the apps that I make on Game Salad. And finally is Virus Barrier Express. Even though Macs are not supposed to get viruses, they technically still can. So Virus Barrier Express is very, very, very quick, and I like it a lot. So that concludes my What's in My Dock video. All the links to the apps will be in the description below. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. This is TDNJ27. Peace.